Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the new chapter, that is psychometry. Okay. So if you see in this previous lectures, we have seen the condenser, evaporator, expansion devices. Now today we are going to start the new chapter, that is psychometry. Now this is the psychometry chart you can observe on the screen. In this screen, you can see on x-axis we have plotted the drywall temperature, and on y-axis we have plotted the specific humidity. Now this region, you can see in this region, this is the saturation curve. Okay, this region is known as the saturation curve over here, and we have plotted various properties such as the relative humidity, wet bulb temperature, dry bulb temperature. Okay, so now first of all, we are going to see the dry bulb temperatures line. Dry bulb temperatures lines on a x-axis we have plotted the dry bulb temperature lines, and dry bulb temperature lines are vertically and parallel to the ordinates. So they are uniformly spaced. You can observe over here, and generally the range of dry bulb temperature is -6 to 45 degrees Celsius, and they are drawn with the difference of every 5 degrees Celsius up to the saturation curve. So this is the saturation curve, and the value of the dry bulb temperature is also shown on the saturation curve. Now, the basic term dry bulb temperature, it is the true temperature of moist air at rest and measured by an ordinary thermometer. And it is generally we are giving for writing purposes, it is writing on the TDB or TD. The second important property is the specific humidity. Now this specific humidity, you can see the specific humidity or moisture content line. So specific humidity lines are the horizontal parallel to the abscissa, and they are uniformly spaced. And generally the range of these specific humidity lines are 0 to 35 gram per kg of dry air, and they are drawn with the difference of every 1 gram over there. So specific humidity, we can say it is the weight of the water vapor present in 1 kg of dry air. So that's why we are writing kg per kg of or gram per kg of dry air. When air is cooled or heated, its specific volume varies, and hence for the accuracy and the simplification of the calculation, the weight of air is handled, and the moist air content is generally expressed many kg of water vapor in 1 kg of dry air. Next is the dew point temperature. If you observe, the dew point temperature lines are horizontal lines, are parallel to the abscissa, and they are uniformly spaced over here. Now, at any point on the saturation curve, the dry bulb temperature and dpt are equal, and the values of dpt are generally given along the saturation curve. So dry bulb temperature, the saturation temperature at which condensation of water vapor to visible water takes place, and that is called as the dew point temperature. So as air is cooled, relative humidity increases. If the temperature is lowered sufficiently, thereafter a point will be reached to which relative humidity would be 100%, or the air will be fully saturated, and the temperature at which given moisture or water vapor saturate the air is called as the dew point temperature. Next is the wet bulb temperature lines. So wet bulb temperature means what? Wet bulb temperature, it is the temperature of air indicated by the thermometer, and whose bulb is covered with the piece of the wet uh, cotton wet is covered over there, and which is dipped in a small basin, that is the water, and it keeps the boil, it keeps the bulb moistured, or we are saying it is the weight, and the temperature indicated by the such kind of the thermometer is known as the wet bulb temperature. And if you observe here, wet bulb temperature lines, these are the inclined straight line and non-uniformly splits, and at any point on the saturation curve, the dry bulb temperature and wet bulb temperatures lines these are the equals, and the values of wet bulb temperature is generally given along the saturation curve. So you can observe here wet bulb temperature. Next, enthalpy lines. Enthalpy lines, first we have to see the what is by enthalpy. So enthalpy is the summation of the internal energy plus product of the pressure and volume, and the total heat we can say also. So the total heat content of the air or water vapor mixture, this is also known as the enthalpy, or we can say it is the sum of the sensible heat and latent heat. Now you can observe the enthalpy lines are the inclined straight lines and uniformly spaced. So enthalpy lines are the parallel to wet bulb temperature lines, and these are drawn up to the saturation curve, and some lines are coincide with the wet bulb temperature lines also. So you can observe enthalpy over here. Next is the specific volume lines. Now this terms is the very much important term, specific volume line. So specific volume lines are, you can see the inclined straight lines over here. Okay, and they are drawn up to the saturation curve, and the values of specific volume are generally at the base of the chart. So specific volume we can see over this inclined line. Next, vapor pressure line. Vapor pressure lines are the horizontal and uniformly spaced, and generally vapor lines are drawn, but the separate vertical lines you can see over here, the vapor pressure in mm or hg you can observe over here. And we know that the vapor pressure is generally gives the over these lines, and this is 0, 5, 10, 15. So we can coincide the point and we can get the vapor pressure. Next is the relative humidity. Relative humidity, this is the ratio of the actual amount of the moisture present in 1 meter cube of air at a certain temperature, and to the amount of moisture needed to the saturate it at the temperature. This is the called as the relative humidity, and it is generally represented by the RH. Once again, I am repeating, the ratio of the actual amount of the moisture present in 1 meter cube of air at certain temperature to the amount of moisture needed to saturate it at that temperature, that is called as the relative humidity. And relative humidity is generally defined as the ratio of actual partial pressure of vapor in space to the saturation pressure of pure water at same temperature. So relative humidity lines are the curved lines that follows the saturation curve, and these are like the percentage wise you can observe 10%, 20%, 30% up to the 100%. And the relative humidity for the value of 100% represent the saturation curve, and this is generally represented by the RH. So this is the total psychometric chart. You can observe this is the variable temperature, specific humidity. You can see on y-axis. Next, here you can see the vapor pressure. This is the enthalpy we can observe, total enthalpy we can observe. Next, this is the wet bulb temperature line you can observe. Next, you can observe the various properties such as the specific volume, specific humidity. So we are finding this on the psychometric chart. So first we are going to see the psychometric processes. Psychometric processes means the conditioning of the air to the condition to the human comfort or of the optimum control of the industrial process required a certain process to be carried out outside the air available. So the process affecting the psychometric properties is called as the psychometric processes. So first we are going to see, you can observe here one process from this point to this sensible heating, from this point to here you can observe the sensible cooling, from this point to vertically upward direction humidification, and from this point to in downward direction, that is dehumidification. So first we are going to see the process, that is the sensible heating. So in this sensible heating, you can observe by sensible heating, we mean add the heat to the air, which raise the temperature of the air, and no moisture is added or removed. So the vapor content or the specific humidity remains same. So you can observe specific humidity remains same. So in this case, the dew point temperature remains also same over there. And the we can say that the wet bulb temperature, however, has increased, and the relative humidity is the decreased over there. So this explains the relative humidity in early morning is high but decreases as day goes on. So the heating is usually done by the electrical resistance. So you can observe here air is coming over here, and at TD1, that's we have plotted over here TD1 point, and with enthalpy, and it comes out at point 2 at TD2 over there. So we are getting the specific humidity at constant, and this is the heating coil because steam is introduced inside this, and as the we are finding that specific humidity is the constant and the heating goes on, so the dry bulb temperature is increases and the enthalpy is also increasing. So this is the sensible heating process. So the amount of heat added we are going to calculate it, that is the H2 minus H1. So total heat available at point 2 minus total heat available at point 1. So at point 2 you are finding that this is the CP. Suppose we are considering mass as a 1 kg. Okay, also we can write here CPA TD2 minus TD1. CPA, this is the specific specific heat at the of the air, and TD2 minus TD1, this is the temperature, and plus W into CPS into TD2 minus TD1. So W1 is equal to WT, W1 is equal to W2, that is equal to W, because the specific humidity is equal over here. So we are writing Q is equal to CPA plus W into CPS into bracket this common factor TD2 minus TD1 over there. But you can observe here this is equal to CPM. CPM means humid specific heat. So we are getting humidity specific heat CPM is equal to CPA plus W into CPS, and generally we are taking it as a 1.022 kilojoule per kg second. So heat added we can write Q is equal to 1.022 into TD2 minus TD1 in terms of the kilojoule per kg for the sensible heating. Now next point is the sensible cooling, and the word only is used signify that the process is only sensible cooling, and there is no latent heat removal. So latent heat removal from air occurs when some moisture content in the air is condensed, and this bringing down the amount of moisture content in the air. So the specific humidity remains constant during this process, this sensible cooling, and the dew point temperature is also remains constant. So you can observe over here, air is coming at 0.1 at TD1 and it goes on at point TD2. But here refrigerant we are providing for the cooling purposes. So it will extract the heat from the air and it will be cool. So you can observe here TD1. So the temperature, dry bulb temperature drop down. So as heat is extracted, so enthalpy is decreased and the specific humidity remains constant over here. So the cooling of air is usually done by means of the cooling coils through which the cold water is circulated or the refrigerant is circulated, and the temperature of this water you can say that higher than the dew point temperature in sensible cooling, and the wet bulb temperature decreases and dew point temperature remains constant, as you can observe on this psychometric representation. So the specific humidity remains constant in the sensible cooling and the dew point temperature remains constant over here. So you can say that the amount of heat that you can say rejected, or we can say it is added by the sensible cooling, you have to write here. So heat rejected during the sensible cooling is H1 minus H2. So here just modification is required. Amount of heat that is the removed from the sensible cooling, that is H1 minus H2. Just we are writing the terms for H1, it is the total heat is the CPA into TD1 minus TD2, and for H2 it is W into CPS TD1 minus TD2. As specific humidity is constant, we are taking the common terms CPA plus W CPS common bracket TD1 minus TD2. So as we have seen in previous, that is the CPA plus W into CPS is the CPM. We have added over here, and the value is 1.0222. So we are getting Q is equal to 1.022 TD1 minus TD2. So if you observe this two equation for the sensible heating and sensible cooling, so all the formula remains same, but in case of the heat added, TD2 minus TD1, and in case of the heat rejected, TD1 minus TD2. So this is the sensible cooling. Now the sensible heat, that is MA into CP M into delta T. So for this we can write mass is equal to nu into rho into CPM into delta T, where nu is the rate of the dry air flowing through the in meter cube per second. So rho is the density of moist air at 20 degrees Celsius and 50 relative humidity. So that's we can take as a 1.2 kg per meter cube of dry air, and CPM as we have discussed 1.022 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, and delta T is TD1 minus TD2. So in sensible cooling, sensible heat per minute, you can say that is 0.02044 V into delta T, that is in kilojoule per second, or we can say it is kilowatt. Next point we are going to see, that is the humidification. Now in this humidification, or you can say adding of the moisture content. So you can observe over here, we are only addition of the moisture to the air without change of its dry bulb temperature, and this is known as the humidification. So you can observe humidity is increasing and temperature remains same. So due to the addition of the humidification process, the enthalpy is also increasing. So as and dry bulb temperature during the humidification process remains constant, hence the sensible heat during the humidification is also remains constant. So in the pure humidification, adding or removing of the moisture content at the constant dry bulb temperature is represented over this psychometric chart. So pure humidifying process is possibly when the heat of the vaporization is supplied from the source other than the air without affecting the dry bulb temperature, and this remains when the dry bulb temperature of the entering air is spread in the chamber whose temperature is maintained at the dry bulb temperature. So you can observe the change in the enthalpy in kg due to the increase in the moisture content. So as the moisture content is increasing, so the enthalpy is increasing over air, and the specific humidity causes the latent heat transfer. So we can say the latent heat is equal to H2 minus H1. So LH is equal to HFG W2 minus W1. So LHG is the latent heat of vaporization at dry bulb temperature. So this is the humidification. Now next we can see the dehumidification. Dehumidification means what? Dehumidification means removal of the here we can remove the moisture of the air without change of its dry bulb temperature. Now in this case we are heat removed during the dehumidification process. Okay, so as moisture is removing from the air, so you can observe over here latent heat is you can see latent heat is equal to H1 minus H2, and latent heat HFG into bracket W1 minus W2. So the latent heat HFG is the latent heat of vaporization. So pure dehumidification occurs when without the change of the dry bulb temperature of the air. So the when air is passed over the chemical absorbing moisture, and heat evolved when the moisture is absorbed is removed immediately by the surrounding walls, which are maintained at the dry bulb temperature. So the chemicals are also maintained at the dry bulb temperature of the process, and this process is called as the purely dehumidification process. So methods of the obtaining the humidification, we can say supplying or spraying the steam or the hot water or cold water into the air. And the two methods of the humidification is the direct and indirect methods. So today this all about the today's lecture. In today's lecture we have seen the psychometric properties, psychometric chart. So in psychometric chart we have seen the dry bulb temperature and the wet bulb temperature, how it is plotted. Then we have seen the enthalpy line, specific volume, vapor pressure line, relative humidity, and collectively we have seen on one chart how it is plotted. In next part we have seen the psychometric processes, that is the sensibility, sensible cooling, humidification, and dehumidification. So these all about the today's lecture. Thank you very much.